Okay, you guys. So, continuing the news that has been going on this weekend between TFCon and MCM London reveals and stuff, we have Eric Siebenaler. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that last name wrong. He is coming back to the Transformers design team, and this was announced at TFCon Chicago last night at the time of this recording when he was on a toy design panel with Aaron Archer. He announced that he's returning to the Transformers design team over at Hasbro. And it seems like it's reported on that he is working on the Generations line with Mark Clonus on Instagram. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And, it's a good point, too, to bring up because TFW said in their article the animated anniversary is coming up soon. And that would be the show aired in, I believe, December of 2007. So I don't know if Hasbro would want to count 2007 as its 20th anniversary or 2008 as its 20th anniversary because that's when the toy line came out. And, that's when the cartoon started coming along and the toy line really got pronounced in 2008. So I don't know if they want to count '07 or '08 as the 20th anniversary mark, but we're going to have to wait and see. And, I've been saying on the channel for the last, few months or something that I really want Hasbro to do a 20th anniversary celebration, whether that's just a few figures in the main line that are actually cartoon accurate in the Studio Series line, like what they've been saying that they were going to do with Animated and Prime and even Trans-Tech the last couple years. Or, just do a capsule subline for the 20th anniversary because it's such a big part of the fandom. It's one of the most popular iterations of Transformers. I will admit, somebody who's a Unicron Trilogy kid and somebody who loves to talk about that era of Transformers on the channel and stuff, that's kind of more niche, and Animated is on the level of, I'd say, G1, Prime, the movies, the IDW comics and stuff like that. It's very popular in the fandom. This is news that I'm really excited to hear because if you look up Eric's work on TF Wiki, it starts with Armada. He did Laserbeak, he did Wheeljack and Overload. Some of the more interesting gimmick-based figures in that toy line. Armada was bricks. They're really not that great of figures nowadays if you just want something that transforms and is posable. But the gimmicks were kind of cool. And then with Energon, he worked on some banger figures like Towline, Roadblock, Rodimus, Prowl, Demolisher, Downshift, the Kicker 2-pack. He did work on Energon Hotshot, which isn't too great of a figure, but the car mode was good. Inferno was a fire figure during Energon. Dive Bomb was great. RC was great. So he worked on some bangers in Energon. Ironhide was cool. Mirage was a great figure. Cliff Jumper was awesome. Landmine and Bulkhead, those were fantastic figures back then with their gimmicks. And then they balanced out with articulation. They had ankle pivot and everything. It was great. Megatron Leader Class, come on, that figure is fantastic. The design is great. Optimus Prime, he was decent. Omega Supreme, that was a fun figure. And then you go to the Cybertron line. He worked on almost everything, it seems like. Crumple Zone, Landmine, Crosswise, Evac, Mudflap, Vector Prime, Megatron, Optimus, Metroplex, Primus at Supreme Class, Cybertron Defense Red Alert, Jetfire, Menasor, freaking Wing Saber, one of the greatest Jetformers Hasbro's ever made. Deluxe Class, he did Red Alert, which had some amazing accessories and gimmicks. Scout Class, Armorhide, Breakdown, Lugnuts, Scattershot, Ransack, awesome figures back then. And then he worked on Dead End and Tracks on Alternators, which were some of the more stronger Alternators releases back then. And then he even worked on Classics, which was a fire toy line, especially back then. It still has some bangers today, like the Voyager Optimus and Megatron, and the Deluxe Class Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper. The Mirage is a great figure too. Jetfire is pretty good. And then he even worked on the 2007 line. All these bangers. I'm going to list a couple deluxe classes. RC, Bone Crusher, Brawl, Bumblebee, both of them, Jazz, Voyager class, Ironhide, Optimus, Ratchet, Starscream, both of the leader class, or not both, two of the leader class figures, except for Brawl, Megatron and Optimus. He even worked on animated. I'm pretty sure he worked on all of the line for Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader class. I could be wrong on that, but Blur, Jazz, Lockdown, Oil Slick, Prowl, Samurai Armor, Blitzwing at Voyager class, Lugnut, Cybertron, Megatron, Optimus, Wreck-Gar, Shockwave, all of the Leader class figures, Bulkhead, Megatron, Ultra Magnus, even the entertainment packs like Jetstorm and Jetfire, Optimus vs. Megatron, great 2-packs back then. He even worked on quite a bit of Revenge of the Fallen with Scout class and Voyager class, Dead End, Ejector, Knockout, Ransack. Some of the Voyager classes he did, Mixmaster, Starscream, Stratosphere, some bangers from that line, even for today's standards. He worked on the Power Core combiners, which were decent, they were kind of like cheaper combiners. They were more so like gimmick toys. He also did some stuff for the Dark of the Moon Mech Tech line in Deluxe class, Voyager, and Leader class. He did Sentinel at Leader class, Voyager, Optimus, and Skyhammer, which were fun figures back then. He did Deluxe class Nitro Bumblebee, Jolt, Ratchet, Skids, Topspin, some of the more interesting deluxes to handle in hand. And he did the first edition line. He did, it looks like most of the first edition line. I think a few are missing. RC, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Starscream, the Viacon Final Design, Voyager class Bulkhead and Optimus, and then the entertainment pack of Optimus Prime versus Megatron. So, just rattling off most of his work on these Transformers figures back in the 2000s and early 2010s, he did some iconic molds that, are revered in the fandom 10, 15, 20 years later as amazing figures that even Hasbro today can't top due to budget constraints and whatever else. So, yeah, I'm really excited on the news of him coming back. Hopefully, we could get some of that classic 2000s, early 2010s engineering back, especially now that they have one of the guys that was leading that charge back in the day to begin with. So this is really great news. I'm just hoping out of this we get something really concrete and accurate to the cartoon designs for an anniversary of Transformers Animated in the next couple years. And, even, next year and in 2027, we just get back to something a bit more solid and unique and just fun to play with in hand for Generations figures, because I think that's been missing for quite a while with a lot of figures. Not all of them, but there's been some figures over the years that I bought and messed around with, and it's like, why is this figure having stress marks right out of the box when I have figures from 20, 25 years ago that have zero stress marks that have transformed a bunch of times? Because I don't manhandle my figures. So hopefully we just get back to that a little bit. I know with stuff going on in the world right now and, budget constraints and Hasbro being a greedy billion-dollar corporation, these workers, they try and do the best they can with what they're given. So I just hope that Eric is able to bring some of that 2000s energy back a bit more with these Transformers figures, because this franchise is amazing. It deserves quality product, and some of the stuff we've been seeing over the last 5-10 years, it really hasn't been the greatest, ever since those 2012 budget cuts. We're not at that point, but it could easily happen again, and it just can be trash. So I just hope that bringing him back, it keeps things on a clear path and maybe improve on some things to get back to that old school build and quality of figures from the 2000s and early 2010s. But yeah, guys, let me know down below. How do y'all feel about the news of Eric Siebenaler? I'm trying it again here, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys, how you pronounce it. But how do y'all feel about him coming back to the Transformers design team at Hasbro? Do you think this is good news or do you not? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.